Poomer Premium Shirts.
Everybody has interest. There will be people who like science, astronomy, geography, history. But I think the most important thing is history. As children, all of us have listened to stories of the past. That's Chandamama. You have Chandamama in Hindi?
Yes.
Whatever. All those are stories we hear. We've been told stories about the past, about kings, we've had such an illustrious past. Just a small things that I want to bring to your notice. We all talk about the pyramids and how could they have possibly built it? How did they do it so many years ago? But do you know that in India, we have so many temples, but the one with the highest Gopuram is there in Tanjavur, which is where the Chola dynasty had happened, and his role, Rajaraja Cholan, had built it. That particular temple has the highest Gopuram in the whole world. The top stone alone, it's a single stone that weighs 80 tons. 80 tons, not 1 ton or 2 tons. And how did they do it? But do we know that? We all go to the pyramids, we go see the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Someone said something very nicely. He said, we are actually appreciating a building that doesn't stand. It's falling over and wow, let's take a picture, let's take a selfie, and we're getting excited. But we have temples today that stand and they didn't use plaster. Do you know that for this particular stone, they had to use a ramp, which was 6 kilometers long, which was pulled by bulls, elephants, and people. 6 kilometers long to get it up there, without any machinery, without any cranes, without anything. And they didn't have plaster. It's withstood 6 earthquakes. You know what happens when an earthquake comes? Without plaster. What they have done is they have an outer wall. Then inside that, they have a corridor of 6 feet, which is an open, just a corridor. And then they have another structure inside, which goes all the way to the top, which is why they can withstand earthquakes, which is why they stood so long. So these are all things that we need to know about. This particular king has built 5,000 dams in his time, and he's made a water management ministry in that time. He's had elections for the village leaders. He's asked them to name cities after women. Why should it only be men? Why can't it be named after a queen? And they've had hospitals, free hospitals, and and he actually brought loans. I mean, he used to give loans. He used to help people get dignity, not just throw money around. So this is something that's so illustrious. And this happened in the 9th century. I'm sorry, I'm taking so much time. It happened in the 9th century when the rest of the world, you talk about superpowers today. The 9th century, all this happened when we had the biggest maritime naval thing in the world. And it went all the way to Bali, all the way to Malaysia, and went till we sent emissaries to China. And you know what was the superpower doing then? America hadn't been discovered by Columbus till 500 years later. So think about our culture. Think about how advanced we were. We need to be proud of this. It's nothing to do with North India, South India, West India, East. It is, we are Indians. And we need to feel proud about that. And England is so illustrious. But England were invaded by the Vikings, and the Europe was in the dark ages during the 9th century. They had nothing going on. So don't you think we should celebrate history?
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I need water, please. It's a lot of dreams that come together. My dream is, when I started acting in movies, I'd seen a Roja, I'd seen a Bombay, I'd seen a Nayagan, and I wanted to be in his films. I was in college that time, and I had a classmate who's a cousin of his, and I became his friend because he's his cousin. And I used to always keep asking about Mani sir. That's the impact he's had on me in the films that he's done. Mauna Ragam, there's so many movies, like frame by frame. I mean, I could just watch them over and over again. So that was a dream, to work in his film. And I had thought that, even Mr. Shankar, if I work in both their films, I would retire. I don't want to act after that. And I still hadn't started acting. But I've acted in 2 films of both of theirs, and I'm hungry for more. So that's one dream. Second dream is, of course, Rahman sir. The most amazing maestro alive, I think, in music. I mean, what he does for us. Yesterday, someone rightly said, even after 30 years, the songs that he played first, maybe in a Roja, is still very, very pertinent even today. The sounds, what he's used, the instruments he's used, how he's changed music in cinema as we know it. So it's always been a dream for me to work in his film. But what greater dream can there be than working in a film which both of them are in together? Because they've given the most amazing music always, every single time. It's always a sixer. And I feel so proud to be a part of that. The other dream was, I've always wanted, I told Mani sir, give me a nice role wherein, like, you know, I have this entry on a bike, and then you have, like, in Alaipai, there you'll have Maddie, and sounds like that. And maybe it's like Vicky or Vikram or Kenny, whatever. He disappointed me that way. He threw me into the jungle in Rahman and to muck. And again, he called me for this and I said, okay, now what are we doing? He said, you're a prince. I said, wow, great. No, but you get into battle, you're only in battle and you're always covered in muck. So you have to be rugged. You have to be crude. You have to be a barbarian of sorts. You are a prince, but yes, Eka will give you the most amazing costumes, but then you have to roll in the sand and then get ready for the shot. So that was how it was. So I was like, okay, so I'm not going to have that entry. But then you saw the entry in the trailer, which I think for me is my personal best shot ever in any film. Oh. Thank you, sir. I need that. I don't think I'll ever have that shot again. Neither will I have that hair again. So that shot is like the shot for me, coming as a prince on a horse. And I think that's enough. I don't need anything more in the film. But then you have Rahman sir, you have Thodadarni, you have Thodadarni sir, you have Ravi Verma, you have everybody who's like, you know, giving in their best. And that's all because it's Mani sir's movie. And they're all then, you know, that you're going to be in a film like that, produced by one of the biggest production companies in India, Leica. So what more can I ask? All my dreams have come true. And working with the most amazing actors, it's not very easy to get a combination like this because in the South especially, we don't have ensemble cast. We don't have that. We just have a solo hero. And I may meet him at a function and we're buddies. And I may meet Karthik again at a function and say, hi Karthik, how are you? Great, I saw your film. But never will we do a film where we're all together. This film has every actor except maybe I think there's one person called Mohan Ram. I think everybody else has been a hero or is a hero. And everyone has been a heroine on, even now. And of course, working with all of them, Ravi, Karthik, Trisha, Ash, it's been like phenomenal. And I get to work with Ash again after Ravanan. My only problem, my only gripe is, here too I don't get her. I play this tragic hero who never, whenever Manisa says Ash, I said, really? So do I die in the end? Do I get her? Yeah, let's think about it. But I don't think I can tweak the subject because it's already been written. So I may die, I may not die, but Ash, why do you do this? Anyway, so that's how it is. And we've had a great time. We all, I think Rahman sir rightly said yesterday, we are not thinking of this as a blockbuster or is it going to be a hit? Is it going to be nothing? We just feel proud to be part of something like this, which has been everybody's dream. For the last 70 years, there's been this book. For the last 40 years, Manisa's been trying. We've had MGR who's wanted to make the film. You had Kamal sir, and you have almost everybody in the Tamil industry and trying to have made this film. And we are all part of that. We're all part of history. There is fiction, but it's mostly history. One of the most glorious periods of all times for South India. And I'm glad to be a prince in that, and I'm glad to be his prince. Thank you, sir, once again.
Poomer Premium Handkerchief.
ஃபஸ்ட்டு வந்து வெளுத்துக்கட்டுன்னு ஒரு படம் பண்ணோம் எஸ்ஏ சந்திரசேகர் சாரோட இயக்கத்தில். அதில் வந்து நானும் இதே மாதிரி நடிச்சிருந்தேன். ஒரு 4 சீன் நடிச்சிருப்பேன். படம் பெருசாக வெளில தெரியலை. அத்த மக ஒன்ன நினச்சி அழகு கவிதை ஒன்று படித்தேன், அத்தனையும் மறந்து புட்டேன் அடியே ஒன்ன பார்த்ததுமே. அடி அஞ்சுதமே உன்னை கொஞ்சனுமே